How it do, baby? That was poetic. You can't write this. I want my chips with the dip. Only my Canadians know what's up.
Max, congratulations on the victory tonight. First of all, what do you think of the new belt that's sitting there in front of you?
It's dope. You know, I told you guys, it kind of reminds me of Power Ranger. I heard Power Rangers is doing a reboot. If they're looking for a Green Ranger, holla at your boy, ready for Takeover Hollywood too. But, you know, like I said, you know, it's, I got a Soul Stone. I got one on here already. I don't know if it's Frankie's or Brian's, but it's on there, so it's cool.
Very nice. How'd you feel about your performance tonight?
I felt good. I felt real good. You know, I got to find myself early in that fight. I told, you know, I kept hearing people saying that his wrestling was going to be too much. I kept people here saying that his pressure on me was going to be too much. So I wanted to go 5 rounds and remind everybody that the Blessed Express is on the move. Blessed Era is still in full effect, and that's what we did.
You mentioned wanting to go 5 rounds. I mean, I imagine if you had the chance to finish him, you probably would have. But it seemed pretty close at the end of that 3rd round, and then he kind of took you down, like right at the end. That was the one takedown you got. Is that the biggest opportunity you saw to finish the fight?
I always want to finish the fight. I always trying to finish the fight, but Frankie is a legend, guys. He's a legend, you know. He's the dude. He's been in there with the best of them, and he is one of the best. And, you know, I just couldn't find the shots. I couldn't land the shots. And you know, it is what it is. I felt great.
Yeah, I mean, what does it mean to you? You praised him so much leading up to this fight. It was all respect afterwards. What does it mean to have his name on your resume now?
It means a lot. You know, without the guys like Frankie Edgar, you wouldn't have guys like me. Frankie Edgar was the inspiration. You know, Drake said, train till your idols become your rivals, you know, and we're here. And he's a beast, you know. You can't take nothing away from Frankie. He's still a legend. He's been in top 5 forever in 2 different weight classes, in a weight class where he was very undersized. Boy looked kind of big today, though, but it was super fun, you know. It was super fun, you know. Like I said, I'm trying to be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, not the best featherweight in the world. I'm trying to be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and Frankie's one of the guys to help me one step towards that goal.
You've spent 14 rounds in there since December, which is, you know, a lot of cage time. There's all this talk about potentially fighting Volkanovski in Australia and the big stadium show, October. Does that, just generally speaking, feel too soon for you, considering how much you fought of late, or could you possibly see yourself doing that?
We see what happens, you know. Like, I look fine. I look great. But, you know, I owe it to my team. I owe it to my coaches. We got to get medical testing, you know. Like you said, I fought 3 title fights in 7 months. I think it's 7.5 months, something like that. And, you know, I want to fight one more time this year, but we got to go take all the right tests and see, and we'll go from there.
And just last thing for me, Dana was in here and he got asked questions about you potentially going to 55 again in the future. And he more or less said the door is closed. Like, I asked him maybe if he got more time, because I know it was a pretty short camp for Dustin to bulk up. And he said, you know, doesn't matter how much time you get, he's not interested in that. What do you just make of that?
Dana changes his mind every day. Tomorrow he might be like, hey, Max, we need a heavyweight fight. So I don't, you know, Dana's mind is all over the place. You know, I got to respect the boss, but, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, I know if an opportunity come up there and they come calling, you know, we won't shy away.
Max Tier, I left over here. Congrats on the win. It seems like there's a pretty notable pattern in some of your fights recently where first couple rounds might be kind of close, and then 3rd round is really when you click and you start to pull away. What is it about you that allows you to do that?
I just gotta get, you know, like a train. I just gotta get my engine rolling, the choo-choo train, and then once it's rolling, it's hard to stop, you know. So I just gotta get in there and figure it out. You know, everybody's different. You know, like, I don't have, we have guys to mimic Frankie, but he's not Frankie, you know. And when I get in there, I try to figure it out, find out what we've been working and see what's working, and then turn it up from there.
You landed a few big uppercuts in the fight, and there were 2 really big ones in the 3rd round that kind of allowed you to pull away. And I think one knocked out his mouthpiece. Ortega hit him with that same uppercut. Is that what you guys saw, like on film, that he was maybe vulnerable to that?
We saw a bunch of things, you know. We saw a bunch of things, and uppercut was just landing. It was working, you know, and we had a lot of other things that we actually practiced more, but the uppercut just landed. I was like, hey, if he's not going to move his head, if moving his head this certain way, I'll just keep doing it, and it was working.
I know that you don't like talking about being a better featherweight than Jose Aldo, but you do have one record that you tied today, 13 featherweight wins in a row, and it's tied with John Jones, Anderson Silva, and Demetrius Johnson as the most wins in a row in a division. What is your reaction to that?
I'm just trying to be a legend. I'm just trying to be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and that's the names that I gotta be up there with, and that's respect. So, like I said, like all this GOAT talk and whatever, that doesn't affect me. When it's all said and done, I can sit back and relax. And Aldo stood the man. He still got the most wins. He got the most title defenses, and so on and so on. So until I beat those records, then maybe I can be in that conversation.
Last thing for me, I heard you ran into Alexander Volkanovski in the elevator at the hotel this week. What was that conversation like, and what do you think about him as a future opponent?
It was cool, it was me and him, and then and my manager, and it was like, well, this ain't awkward. And then we both laughed, and it's just cool, he's a nice guy, he's a fighter, he's a respectful guy, and we didn't say nothing, it was like whatever, and saw him, and then he got off and said, hey, have a nice day, we went on our way.
Everything okay, Rush? You good? Okay. Just worried about you.
This guy tired. I don't know what is going on.
Thanks.
Max, right here. Back in February, when I spoke with Israel Adesanya, he said when he fought Anderson Silva, he had watched him so much throughout his career that he knew what was coming when they fought. You were pretty adamant that you'd been watching Frankie for a long time. I'm curious if anything similar when you were fighting him played through your mind.
Yeah, he was definitely throwing some stuff that I usually see him throw. That running single leg is that's Frank Edgar. You watch a highlight, you see a bunch of people get taken down with that. So when he's doing that, I was like, oh wow, Frankie's trying it on me. It's pretty cool. But yeah, a bunch of time we watched a lot of tape. I watched a lot of tape, and there's a lot of times when we're in there and it just clipped back like, oh, I remember this fight. He was doing this and he was doing it. So it's pretty cool.
Did you call out Daniel Cormier again after your fight?
All the time. Every time. I call out Daniel Cormier right now. You better hope Stipe don't fight. Baddest man on the planet. You better hope that that Stipe make that walk. Or you're going to fight a Hawaiian that's probably going to step in there around like 205 pounds that's ready to take your belt. And that #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
Well, what's the beef? I mean, I saw you kind of teasing him when you had that press conference. You just took
I don't know. Did you guys see the Twitter? Like everybody was like saying, "Oh my gosh, he's limping. Max is limping. Fighters and stuff." DC was like, "That's Max's swag. He's not being cool. He's clowning me. I don't like that type of beef. The Twitter figures, trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers. DC, come see me." Nothing but love for the guy. I love DC, man. I love that guy. He's a legend.
Over here, Max, congratulations. First of all, it's been over 3 years since you've went to a decision in the featherweight division. So what is it about Frankie or tonight that took you the distance like that?
Like I said, Frankie's a legend. He's the man, and all I kept hearing was I wasn't going to be able to handle Frankie's pace. I wasn't going to be able to handle his wrestling. I fought no one like Frankie before. So I had in my plan, in my mind, I wanted to go out there and show everybody why I was the best in the world and why Blessed Express and the Blessed Arrows stood in full effect. So I went out there, control the fight, and show everybody, look, I don't have to be in these wars and this stuff. It's fun sometimes, but sometimes, not looking like the guy from Goonie is great too. So we got some business stuff. We got some business stuff to do after this fight, and I couldn't be too beaten up. The last fight I had this big scar on my face, and yeah, I don't like it. Rush teases me all the time, so it's kind of horrible.
Dana was in here a few minutes ago. I asked him how close we are to UFC Hawaii, and he gave me a short answer, not at all. Do you know anything about that or why he said that?
Yeah, I know because it's not a UFC thing, it's a Hawaii thing. It is a Hawaii thing. Like, look, like, you got guys like Abu Dhabi they're building a stadium for UFC to come. These guys is building them, UFC Hawaii, the state, whatever, they don't want it that bad. They don't want it. Abu Dhabi is building a stadium as we speak right now for a fight, and we have a stadium there. So I just think it's one of those things that Hawaii just don't want it that bad.
Do you take exception to that as a star from Hawaii, the face of Hawaii?
You think I do?
I'm asking you. I don't have a thought on it.
I want to fight at home. I want every guy's dream is to fight at home. I want to fight at home in front of my people, and thank God Canada took your boy as the honorary captain. So I'm here. GSP, move over. Next time I go to T-Dot City to main event, I'm gonna tie with him. I think it's 5. Yeah, 5. Yeah, you told me. Mike told me. He only headlined 5 Canadian cars, so I might catch up with him. So yeah.
And finally, for me, if it's okay with you, Max, can we get a brief breakdown how Rush Mini Bless feels about your performance tonight?
Yeah. How you feel about how did Daddy look good tonight?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. What was pretty good?
The punches.
Oh, just pretty good. I'm kind of mad. He's not getting chocolate wasted tonight, guys. I am. I'm taking all the goodies that you guys saw and embedded.
What? Then I can just keep the fountain.
Hi, Max. Back here. Sort of along those same lines. I'm sure after the loss to Dustin, you kind of had to talk to Rush about, coming back from a loss. Now that you actually have come back from a loss and you finished that, how do you kind of what can you add on to that lesson?
It's like I said, a true champion is a guy who can get knocked back down and get right back up the reins and keep chugging along. All these guys, everybody, you don't really see someone's character until they get tested. If someone is great all the time and that's all they know, and they never ever had failure, then you really don't know how great they are. They got to run into these problems to find out how great and to find themselves, and this is one of those lessons.
And should the Australia card, should that not happen, or you don't fight at that card, how determined are you to fight again, at least get in one more before the end of the year?
Yeah, we see what happens. Like I just told you guys. I gotta go with my team. I gotta talk, and I know how bad I want to fight at home. And I don't want to take that away from the guy. But at the end of the day, I just gotta go see the doctors. And get checked up, and we go from there. At the end of the day, the stadium and stuff is cool, but I definitely want to fight before the end of the year for sure. UFC had this habit of putting me the first week of December. Hopefully if I get medically cleared and everything and I'm good to go by December, I can get that first week because I've been max week for the last 3 years, I think. So don't be changing up on me now because only get one card. Keep that same energy, UFC.
Whoa.
Max, just following up on that, I know you've wanted to be on like a New Year's card or an International Fight Week card. It didn't pan out last year, but those last pay-per-views, it's going to be a stadium show in October, Madison Square Garden, New York, then the December pay-per-view. Will you be satisfied if you're on one of those events?
Yeah, we see. New York sounds cool. Like you guys said, with Vogzanaki and Aussie, sounds cool. So we see. I gotta go check with the doctors, get checked, and we'll go from there.
You have your peanut butter Cocoa Puffs yet?
Oh, no, I didn't have. We're about to have some. Manager looking at me like, no, you're not. But yes, I am. I'll fight you.
All right, go get it.
Thank you.
Hey, Max. You mentioned going to see the doctors and get medically tested. That's something we don't really hear fighters talk about that much. Is this something you've always done, or was this something that started after you had to pull out of that fight with Brian for the unknown reasons, basically?
Yeah, it's something that that you just gotta learn. One of those things that we get better and you get better, and things like that happen. So we've been, I got this little mini me right here. I'm trying to be able to walk and talk and be fine. We had some tragedies that happened, not in our sport, but in combat sports this past week. That's pretty sad, and we want to stay on top of it. My manager, my team, they all push me to go to the doctors whenever something, like, I can be telling them, like, oh my gosh, my hand is sore. They're like, I get texts. I tell one of the coaches, oh, my hand is hurt. I get a text by my manager 10 minutes later, hey, look, check your Google calendar. You gotta go to the doctors right now. I'm like, what? What is going on? Like, I can't, like, you know what I mean? But these guys look out for the best for me, and that's why I love them. And I'm trying to stay around for a long time. Not a good time, a long time.
It's actually mentioning those tragedies we had in boxing. You're talking about the clip of you walking in tonight. Conor McGregor actually retweeted it and said, when you've heard about those tragedies, the walk takes on a different meaning. I mean, obviously you were just walking into the arena, but can you understand what he means by that, knowing what's happened in boxing recently?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's I understand that a lot. It's something that a fighter know, only a fighter know. And the sport is crazy. The sport is crazy. We always, like, me and my coach, me and one of my head coach, we always joke around about it, but the last meal before I fight, all the time, he say, eat whatever you want. This might be your last meal. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way we approach it, because we just warriors and stuff, but we don't wish that, but that's what we say, you know, that's just a mindset, and you never know, you know, you really never know. This world is crazy, this sport is crazy, and it's just insane, and you gotta feel out, you know, nothing but love and prayers to that family that's enduring right now, actually the two families, so, you know, prayers out to them.
Cheers.
Thank you. All good? All good. Where are my chips with the dip now? Thank you, guys.
Max, can you pose for some photos right there?
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for everything.
Thanks, Max. 2 gold chains.